Welcome everyone, join us today as we explore the life and legacy of Tom Petty. From his rise to fame with the Heartbreakers to his solo career and collaborations, he was a rock and roll legend whose music defined a generation. So let's dive in. Thomas Earl Petty, born October 20, 1950 in Gainesville, Florida, in the United States of America. He was zodiac sign Libra. Tom was born to mother Kitty, who worked at a local tax office, and father Earl, a traveling salesman. He had a younger brother named Bruce, who was 7 years his junior. Growing up in the Duck Pond neighborhood of northeast Gainesville, Tom attended Howard Bishop Middle School, where he played Little League baseball and basketball, and later going to Gainesville High School, graduating in 1968. Tom's passion for rock and roll began at age 10 when he met Elvis Presley while visiting the set of Follow That Dream in Ocala, where his uncle was working. This encounter sparked his fascination with music. His ambition to form a band solidified after seeing the Beatles on The Ed Sullivan Show, which showed him a path to success through music. The Rolling Stones further inspired him by proving that musicians like him could make it in rock and roll. As a teenager, Tom played in several bands, including the Sundowners and the Epics. In 1970, Petty and Mike Campbell formed Mudcrutch, with Benmont Tench joining in 1972. The band gained popularity in Florida but moved to Los Angeles in 1974 for a major record deal. Signed by Leon Russell to Shelter Records, their 1975 single, Depot Street, failed to chart, leading to the band's breakup. After Mudcrutch disbanded, Tom reluctantly decided to pursue a solo career. Tench started his own group, which caught Tom's interest. Eventually, Tom and Campbell teamed up with Tench, Ron Blair, and Stan Lynch to form the first lineup of the Heartbreakers. Their self-titled debut album had modest success in the US but was more popular in the UK. The singles American Girl and Breakdown, re-released in 1977, reached number 40 on the charts after the band toured the UK with Nils Lofgren. The album was released by Shelter Records, then distributed by ABC Records. Their second album, You're Gonna Get It, was the band's first to reach the top 40, featuring the singles I Need to Know and Listen to Her Heart. Their third album, Damn the Torpedoes, went platinum quickly, selling nearly 2 million copies and featuring the hit singles, Don't Do Me Like That, Here Comes My Girl, Even the Losers, and Refugee. In September 1979, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers performed at the Musicians United for Safe Energy concert at Madison Square Garden. Their version of Cry to Me was included on the concert album No Nukes. Their fourth album, Hard Promises in 1981, was a top 10 hit, went platinum, and included the hit single, The Waiting, and Tom's first duet, Insider, with Stevie Nicks. Bassist Ron Blair left the band and was replaced by Howie Epstein on their fifth album, Long After Dark in 1982, which featured the hit, You Got Lucky. This lineup would remain intact until 1994. In 1985, the band performed at Live Aid in Philadelphia, playing 4 songs before a crowd of 89,484 at John F. Kennedy Stadium. The same year, they released their sixth album, Southern Accents, featuring the hit single, Don't Come Around Here No More, produced by Dave Stewart. The music video, with Tom as the Mad Hatter, depicted a surreal take on Alice's adventures in Wonderland. The tour that followed resulted in the live album, Pack Up the Plantation, Live, and led to an invitation from Bob Dylan to join his True Confessions tour, spanning Asia, Oceania, and North America. In 1986 and 1987, they performed several shows with the Grateful Dead. In 1987, they released their seventh studio album, Let Me Up, I've Had Enough, which included Jamming Me, co-written by Tom and Dylan. In 1988, Tom co-founded the traveling Wilburys with George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison, and Jeff Lynne. Their first song, Handle With Care, was initially meant to be a B-side for one of Harrison's singles, but it was deemed too good and led to the creation of a full album, Traveling Wilburys Volume 1. A second album, Traveling Wilburys Volume 3, was released in 1990, humorously named as a response to bootlegged recordings labeled Volume 2, and recorded without Orbison, who had passed away. Tom frequently included Traveling Wilburys songs in his live performances, regularly playing Handle With Care from 2003 to 2006, and adding tracks like End of the Line to his 2008 tour setlist. In 1989, Tom released his first solo studio album, Full Moon Fever, which featured hits I Won't Back Down, Free Falling, and Running Down a Dream. Several Heartbreakers and other well-known musicians participated. Mike Campbell co-produced the album with Tom and Jeff Lynne of Electric Light Orchestra, and backing musicians included Campbell, Lynne, and fellow Wilburys Roy Orbison and George Harrison, with Ringo Starr appearing on drums in the video for I Won't Back Down. but they were actually performed by Phil Jones. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers reunited in 1991 to release their 8th studio album, Into the Great Wide Open, co-produced by Jeff Lynne. The album featured hit singles, Learning to Fly, and Into the Great Wide Open, the latter of which had a music video starring Johnny Depp and Faye Dunaway. Before departing MCA Records, the band recorded 2 new tracks live in the studio for a greatest hits compilation, Mary Jane's Last Dance, and a cover of Thunderclap Newman's Something in the Air. This was drummer Stan Lynch's final recording with the group. Tom noted that Lynch left right after the session without really saying goodbye. The compilation went on to sell over 10 million copies, earning diamond certification from the RIAA. In 1989, while still with MCA, Tom secretly signed a lucrative contract with Warner Brothers Records, where the traveling Wilburys were also signed. His first album with Warner Brothers, Wildflowers in 1994, was his second solo album and featured the popular title track, along with singles like You Don't Know How It Feels, You Wreck Me, It's Good to Be King, and A Higher Place. Produced by Rick Rubin, the album sold over 3 million copies in the US. In 1996, Tom and the Heartbreakers released the soundtrack for She's the One, featuring singles like Walls Circus, with Lindsey Buckingham, Climb That Hill, and Lucinda Williams, Change the Locks, along with a cover of Beck's Asshole. They also joined Johnny Cash on Unchained, which won a Grammy for Best Country Album. Cash later covered Tom's I Won't Back Down on American 3, Solitary Man. In 1999, Tom and the Heartbreakers released Echo, their final album with Rick Rubin. It included the singles Room at the Top and Free Girl Now, and reached number 10 on the US charts. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers performed I Won't Back Down at the America A Tribute to Heroes benefit for 9/11 victims. The following year, they played Taxman, I Need You, and Handle with Care at the Concert for George, joined by Jeff Lynne, Dhani Harrison, and Jim Keltner. Tom's 2002 album, The Last DJ, critiqued the music industry, with the title track lamenting the loss of DJs' freedom to choose songs. The album reached number 9 on the Billboard 200. In 2005, Tom began hosting Buried Treasure on XM satellite radio, showcasing his personal record collection. A year later, he and the Heartbreakers headlined Bonnaroo's 30th anniversary tour, joined by notable acts, as well as Stevie Nicks, who joined him on stage for several songs including Stop Dragging My Heart Around. That year, Tom released his last solo studio album, Highway Companion, featuring the hit Saving Grace, which debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200. Tom reunited with Mudcrutch in 2007, releasing an album in 2008 and touring California. He also contributed to Going Home, a tribute to Fats Domino, to aid Hurricane Katrina recovery. Later, Tom and the Heartbreakers performed at Super Bowl 42's halftime show, and they toured North America in summer 2008 with Steve Winwood. Their 12th 2010 album, Mojo, a blues-based record, reached number 2 on the Billboard 200. They promoted it with a North American tour, which followed the recovery of stolen guitars from their practice space. In 2012, the band embarked on a world tour, marking their first European dates in 2 decades and their debut performances in Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador. On July 28, 2014, Hypnotic Eye became Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' first album to reach number 1 on the Billboard 200. In November 2015, SiriusXM launched the Tom Petty radio channel. And 2 years later, the Heartbreakers' 40th anniversary tour started on April 20th in Oklahoma City and concluded September 25th at the Hollywood Bowl, which was their final tour, with the last show featuring American Girl. On September 28, 2018, An American Treasure was released, a 60-track box set with unreleased recordings, alternate versions, rarities, and live performances. The first single, Keep a Little Soul, was a 1982 outtake from the Long After Dark sessions. Besides music, Tom also dabbled in acting, starting with a 1978 cameo in FM. He had roles in Made in Heaven in 1987, and The Postman in 1997, and appeared on It's Gary Shandling's Show, and The Larry Sanders Show. Tom voiced Elroy Lucky Kleinsmith on King of the Hill in 2004 to 2009, and made a brief cameo in the Lonely Islands video, Great Day in 2010. He also guest starred on The Simpsons in 2002. Personally, Tom had a troubled relationship with his father, who struggled with Tom's interest in the arts and subjected him to verbal and physical abuse. Tom described his father as a wild, gambling drinker guy, but was close to his mother and brother Bruce. Tom married Jane Benyo in 1974, with whom he had 2 daughters, Adria, a director, and Anakim, an artist. They would later divorce in 1996. In 1987, an arsonist set fire to Tom's house in Encino, California, destroying his signature grey top hat but sparing the basement studio with his Gibson Dove acoustic guitar and original tapes. The culprit was never identified. After his divorce, Tom struggled with heroin addiction but entered rehab in 1999, thanks to support from girlfriend Dana York. They married on June 3, 2001, in Las Vegas, and again on June 21 at their Malibu home, with Little Richard officiating and an all-female mariachi band performing. Tom was stepfather to Dylan, Dana's son from a previous marriage. On October 1, 2017, Tom was found in cardiac arrest by his wife Dana York. He was revived and taken to UCLA Medical Center but died on October 2. A memorial service was held on October 16, 2017, at the Self-Realization Fellowship Lake Shrine in Los Angeles. On January 19, 2018, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner attributed Petty's death to an accidental overdose involving opioids, benzodiazepines, and an antidepressant. His wife and daughter stated that his pain from medical issues, including a fractured hip, led to his overuse of medication. They considered his death an unfortunate accident. In a September 23, 2018, interview, Dana York revealed that Tom had delayed hip surgery and was in high spirits before his death, having recently completed a successful tour. And there you have it. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the life of Tom Petty, a true icon who will never be forgotten. Though he may be gone, his legacy lives on, forever etched in the heart of rock and roll. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.